Our target's just up here at the end of this gorge here on the hill there. This cave's this cave's C215. Back in '88, when they established the Milling Centre, they built the Milling Centre in '88 and it opened then. And their first marine park manager was Sue Osborne. Well, I think her and her partner found this cave. They were just up walking, looking at kangaroos. Saw some under a fig tree. Looked under the fig tree and saw the big hole. So,
oh, right.
Yeah, I happened to be up here at the time with the WA Museum. We were on a caving expedition, basically looking for cave fauna. And they told us about this cave, so we came around and had an explore. And we're like, wow, found a major feature.
Yeah, right.
This thing goes down through several layers of limestone, right down to the water table. So it's a pretty good cave. And since then, we've had cave divers in, which have followed the water-filled tunnel, and it goes through 300 plus metres now, sort of heading, I think we're heading north-westish, I think, and down to about minus 22 metres. So it's deep as well, the water as well, you know. And typically, sort of it's quite freshish on the top, and then it sort of gets saltier and then hypersaline down deeper in the rock. So anyway, the reason I'm here today is because Phil Humphries from the museum's given me a couple of data loggers. One's to go in the water so you can just measure the tidal fluctuations, and the other's basically an atmospheric monitor and barometric monitor, so we can measure difference in air pressure and see what that sort of changes are there, and CO2 levels, that sort of thing. So, yeah. I don't come out here often, but occasionally there's a job to do, which is good. I'll enjoy it.
So you've got these set up throughout the park, do you?
Well, we've done these in the past. I haven't got any in place at the moment, but we've done them particularly on the coastal plains. We've put them in sinkholes and waterholes, because that's where the stygofauna occurs. And I don't know if you've read much about this area, but stygofauna is interesting here, because it has a Gondwana connection.
Does it?
Yeah, so this stuff, sort of, most of the relatives of the animals that live here occur in disparate locations in the northern hemisphere. Because when they, the Pangaea and broke apart and Gondwana split up, the Tethys Sea initially formed, the animals were probably all living in that region, in the groundwater. And so their relatives have been dispersed around the world in the northern hemisphere with the other continent. And we've got the only spot in the southern hemisphere on the northwest coast of Australia.
Wow!
Where these animals occur. So
that is
you go in the blue holes of the Bahamas, you've got this primitive crustacean called a remipede. Yeah. We've got remipedes here as well. It's the only other place in the world where we get remipedes, apart from that location in the northern hemisphere. So, yeah, it's a really interesting place, fauna-wise. And it's one of the contributors to World Heritage status, the fact that we've got this Gondwana connection, which isn't really advertised much at all, you know.
I didn't know.
And for a lot of people, they probably go, yeah, what does that mean? Because they don't understand the significance of the fact that this is the only place in the southern hemisphere where we've got that. So
that's remarkable.
Pretty interesting place, yeah. The terrestrial fauna we get is relictual rainforest fauna. So, typically its relatives occur in rainforest in northern Australia, Southeast Asia, and we still have it here, but we only have it here because it's got the caves where they can retreat into. But they don't just occur here. They also occur in hard rock areas in the Pilbara block, like east and north of here, where they got some of the iron ore exploration and mining in the cracked rock.
Yep.
We also find relictual rainforest fauna in that rock as well. Not all that rock is cracked rock either, so some of it doesn't contain anything, but areas where there is cracked rock, like on the mesas and things, they're finding relictual rainforest fauna when they do sampling. So our target's this bunch of figs just here. Yeah, so it's a pretty cool area, pretty interesting, eh? Stuff here you wouldn't think would occur here, but it does. Look at this barren landscape, you think, wow, dry, desertified. What possibly could there be of interest here apart from, you know, animals that are sort of live in desert areas and have those unique adaptations to those dry climates? Well, the funny thing is, like the cave animals don't have those adaptations to dry climates. Their answer was to retreat into niches where their climate was basically preserved. So you're looking at a climate that's like reminiscent of rainforest leaf litter. It's hot, it's humid, and it's stable all the time. So, and these animals, they don't survive outside the caves at all because they're, you know, like most insects have like wax coverings over their cuticles to stop them drying out and hold the moisture in. But you pull these ones out, they don't really have that. Look outside and you can almost literally see them shriveling up in the palm of your hand.
Really?
As they dry out, because the moisture just wicks straight out of them. Having said that, you know, occasionally, if you get a lot of moisture outside a cave entrance, we've had like rain, especially if you had a cyclone, it's tropical and it's hot outside and humid, you know, 95% humid, and it's hot and it's damp, they can actually move out of the cave environment as long as they're in contact with that moisture. Sort of interaction happening under our feet all the time, you know. This little world under there of virtual rainforest fauna, and then dating back, you know, this stygo fauna, well, basically animals that live in the groundwater, which date back, you know, greater than 45 million years to the breakup of Gondwana and the formation of the TDC.
Right. So,
yeah.
So where do they place it in, or can it be dated back so far? Gondwana's got a pretty long history there.
Yeah.
It's like Mesozoic, definitively.
Yeah, that's
Jurassic.
Yeah, I can't provide you the details of that, but it goes. They've got, you know, and through genetics they can actually do a lot of good tracing back through genes now to work out, you know, when the splits occurred between different populations.
I've heard that with the humans, that bottlenecking about 75,000 years ago with the Lake Toba.
Down to, you know, not very many people at all. 60,000 possible people, I think, was the thing I saw. 60,000 humans surviving or something at one stage.
I thought it was even less.
Branching out, possibly less, maybe less than that. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head when I read that article about it. But the nearest, we've got a blind fish under here. We call it a blind gudgeon. It's a Mulleringa viridis. It does have a relative on Barrow Island, which we thought would be quite closely related, because, you know, this area was, Barrow Island was like, we had, you know, interglacials where it was dry and stuff like that, and flooded and all that sort of thing like that. And so we thought it'd be quite closely related, but that thing goes back at separation through the gene tracking. I think it goes back a couple of million years separation, something like that. So it's a long separation between those two very near points. But the nearest distant relative we've got from the blind fish here is another blind fish that lives in caves in Madagascar, which is on the other side of the world more.
And Africa was the first of the continental mass to break away from Gondwana.
Well, here's our cave just in here, so we're going to wander into here. Walking on here, these have all come down off the range too. Nobody's got down the gorge by big floods. You look at stuff like this very whitish rock. So you've got three main layers of limestone here. Well, at the very top we've got Triella limestone, which is generally a very whitish sort of rock, a bit like this one here, but more crystalline. This is probably integrating into the layer below called Tolkien limestone, and that sort of goes from white to pinkish. You look at a lot of these rocks are quite pinkish in colour, and you do get some very pink rock, which is Tolkien limestone. And eventually that goes down into Moundu calcarenite, which is the soft chalky limestone. You generally don't get bits of Moundu calcarenite down here because it's soft and crumbly and breaks up easy. But you do see Moundu calcarenite in the bottoms of the big gorges on the east side, like in the bottom of Shot Hole Canyon, and you know, when you're at Charles Knight, if you look down, you can look into see the Moundu calcarenite below there. But this side's got a more complicated pattern, because there's several interfingerings of sandstone and different limestones through here. There's sort of down here, this area here and further south, we've got a Pilgrimana formation, which is a bit similar to the Tolkien limestone but formed at a different time on the seabed. So I was saying to Mandy the other day on the when we're out on the boat, you see those big bedding planes, you know, those horizontal cracks along the walls there.
Yeah.
So they're probably when the seabed was there, you know, and the little animals that live, the forams and all that, drop their shells on the sea floor and eventually become limestone. It's probably hiatuses, you know, because the I don't know, maybe the temperature of the sea changes and the animal composition changes.
Yep. Yes.
Maybe they go to different types of shells, or they're just not there. And typically geological terms, the hiatus might be, you think, okay, well it's only a crack, a few years, but it might be 10,000, 100,000 years hiatus, something like that.
Yep. Yep.
So it's interesting looking at those bedding planes. You know, there's quite big, distinctive bedding planes, and then water that goes down hits these bedding planes, forces its way through, opens them up. So actually very large horizontal cracks. It's quite an interesting part of the story, you know, the lay down on the limestone originally. And you can see some of those, more kangaroos. You can see some of those even here. Look at the bedding plane straight through there, the big horizontal layers right through the rocks there.
Yeah.
So again, it's a major bedding plane area through there. And obviously, you know, sea temperatures change all the time. And so there's obviously different changes in the population of the animals that live in the sea, the forams and things like that. So you get all these layers of limestone as it changes over thousands of years. So you can see all that in the rocks itself. You know, it's pretty interesting. Whoops.